Welcome back to Flashbacks. I'm Tony from CBFU, and today we're going to be covering Episode 3, Things You Can't Outrun. So early in this episode, you get to see a movie theater marquee that's playing two films, Blue Devil 2, Hell to Pay, and the Rita Forrest story. Now in the DC universe, Blue Devil is actually a character whose original name is Dan Cassidy. He was a film special effects artist and stuntman, much like Deadman, if you're familiar with that character. He is trapped in this costume that he was wearing, and he's basically now permanently looks like a Blue Devil. Also of note, in the second season of Arrow, I believe, there was a bus that drove by very quickly at one point that actually had a advertisement on it for the original Blue Devil movie. So I find it interesting that a year later, in the DC universe on the CW, there's already a second Blue Devil movie. So the second name on that marquee is Rita Forrest, also known in the DC universe as Elastigirl. She was an actress who then gained size-changing powers. She's been a member of the Doom Patrol in the DC universe for a good while, so it's nice to see her get acknowledgement on the series. So the villain in this episode is Kyle Nimbus, better known as the Mist. Now in the comics, the Mist started out as a Starman villain. There had actually been several iterations of the character. This is essentially just another iteration, just using the same name as one of the previous ones. So in this episode, at one point Barry Allen says that he doesn't want a museum for himself, but in the comics there actually is a Flash museum, and it's dedicated in the memory of Barry Allen. It actually highlights a lot of the speedsters in the DC universe, and the rogues that actually live in Central and Keystone City. So we get introduced to Ronnie Raymond in this episode. In the show, he's Caitlin Snow's fiance, and he sacrifices himself to contain the particle accelerator explosion. In the comics, he's better known as Firestorm, the nuclear man. Well, one half of Firestorm, actually. The other half being another character, Dr. Stein, where the body of Firestorm is Ronnie Raymond. But in his mind, he also has Dr. Stein with him, and his power set is to change the elemental properties of different matter. Dr. Stein is there to basically give him the information that he needs to do so, because Ronnie wouldn't know these properties on his own. In the New 52, and actually prior to the New 52, there was another Firestorm with Jason Rush and his girlfriend, and then later Jason Rush and Ronnie Raymond. And the New 52, that's the route that they went with, of Jason and Ronnie. Alright, so the door to the central part of the particle accelerator that Ronnie goes beyond to sacrifice himself. On the door itself, the big logo on it is actually the Firestorm logo, which I have a feeling will lead to the element design of his costume, which I thought was a pretty cool nod. Also in the room, though, is these two signs in the back. You can't quite make them out completely legibly, but there's a big 52 on them, and we all know DC is obsessed with the number 52, with the Series 52 and the launch of the New 52. So, again, nice little Easter egg. Now lastly, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but Caitlin mentions that Ronnie would compare their personalities to Fire and Ice. Now, that's obviously a reference to what they're going to become with Firestorm and Killer Frost, but there actually happens to be a team of Fire and Ice in the DC universe. They're on the Justice League International, and they've been around since the 80s. So again, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was a nice little joke. Alright guys, like always, if you've been enjoying this series, please leave a like on this video, comment down below if I've missed anything, and make sure to subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our weekly podcasts, reviews, and this show. See you guys later.